Is a life coach a therapist? Are they the same thing? With all of the coaching that's now available, this question comes up quite a bit, especially as people are looking for alternatives to some of the old traditional ways of handling the issues that come up as part of life here on the planet. I'm going to answer that question very directly, and then let's get into 4 considerations that will help you if you're trying to decide which is right for you. The question that we started with, is a life coach a therapist? The answer, no, unless they are. Not to be confusing, some therapists become life coaches, but a life coach is not, just by benefit of being a life coach, a therapist. Therapists have to go to school. They typically have to get an advanced degree, at least a master's, if not a PhD, in one of the mental health fields, like psychology or social work. A life coach simply has to decide that they want to be a life coach. That sounds a little easier, doesn't it? Well, it is, but that means they cannot simply choose to be a therapist. You have to go to school and get your credentials for that. So let's be clear, a life coach is not a therapist unless they're already credentialed as a therapist. Like myself, for example, I am a professional psychologist. I went to school. I got a PhD in clinical psychology. I practiced as a traditional psychotherapist for 15 years. I am a therapist, but then I made a shift over to coaching. This happened about 15 years ago. I haven't done therapy in 15 years. And that's because I've found life coaching based on positive psychology principles and models to be more effective, more profitable, more fun. There's a lot of personal reasons why I made the switch. I am a therapist, or at least I used to be. I'm still credentialed, but I don't practice therapy. This has put me in a very unique position to see and be able to talk about and help you see both sides of this issue. Let's cover 4 considerations that you should think about whether you're a provider or whether you are looking to receive services. I think these considerations will help. Here's the first one. Are you looking for a diagnosis or treatment for a mental health condition or disorder? If you are, therapy is what you're looking for. You want to find a licensed and credentialed and reputable mental health therapist or counselor who can help you to receive that therapy. Or if you're a provider, that's the kind of work that you're looking to provide. If, on the other hand, you are not interested in or really don't want to have a diagnosis, if you're looking for someone to help steer or guide or coach your thinking to more productive patterns, then you're probably looking more toward the life coaching area. And for me as a provider, those are the kinds of things that really light me up. I am really good at helping people to overcome some of the difficulties and struggles and diagnoses that are typical in the mental health industry. I did that for the first half of my career. I have found that I really enjoy helping people to apply similar principles, but on the positive end of the spectrum. And that's where coaching picks up the ball. Here's another consideration that might make sense to you. Are you looking to understand or process or come to terms or grips with the past and your history to understand how you function? If so, therapy might be the right direction for you. Or are you looking for a more present and future focus to steer and guide your life in a direction that could be very different from your past? That's more in the realm of coaching. Now, as I share these considerations with you, it's not a hard, fast line. I know a lot of coaches who will spend some time understanding the past, but they don't focus on it. They don't spend a lot of time there. They're really moving more toward the future. And I know some therapists who will work with you on future-focused and solutions that you can apply moving forward, but their focus doesn't tend to be there. I remember I was working with a group of newly certified life coaches, providing my positivity practitioner certification for them as they move forward in their coaching practices. And this word came up. One of them mentioned processing the past. And that word caught my attention, processing. And the first thing I thought of was my food processor. You know that tool that you have in your kitchen and you put the food in there and then you spin it. And it chops up and it turns into a bit of a paste, maybe, if you spin it long enough. And I thought, is that really what we want to do with our past? But at the end of the growing season, when my garden is ready to put to bed for the winter, I bring in the harvest. Maybe it's tomatoes or carrots or whatever it is, and I process them, meaning I take them through a very specific process to get them ready for preservation so that I can put them in a jar and put them on my shelf and eat them next winter. Those are very different types of processing. And as you look at your considerations, what do you really want to do? Do you want to spin out in the past? Or do you want to do something productive with it and now move forward? I would encourage you, whether you're going the therapy route or the coaching route, to be really clear about what you want. You're in charge. The therapist or the coach is working for you, not the other way around. Kind of along a similar line is this consideration. Would you prefer an experience that's guided by a treatment plan and addressing certain problems to overcome them, or a more goal-centered approach to moving forward with what you want to accomplish? Again, those are subtle differences between the therapy focus and the coaching focus that might make sense to you as you're making that decision. You know, I just realized as we're having this conversation that it's not much of a conversation unless you get involved. Would you just jump down and share your experience with this in the comments below? Let's see if we can generate some other ideas, because I'm not the source of all the magic here. Here's one more consideration that ties into the diagnosis thing we talked about earlier. Do you want a diagnosis or not? That might help you to decide, but here's a similar consideration. Do you want your insurance company to pay for this? Or are you more interested in doing a private pay option that allows you to keep more of the control and bypass the diagnosis? I'm not even saying one or the other is better, but I invite you to consider that this is part of the package. I know people still contact me and ask me, will you take my insurance? The answer is absolutely not. I fired all of the insurance companies years ago, and they don't get to determine how I work with my clients now. When I was in my therapy business, the insurance company had a lot to say about how we structured treatment plans, how many sessions we could have, what kind of diagnoses were covered or not covered. I'm not interested in that at this point in my career, and some of my clients really appreciate not having to deal with the insurance companies. Others really would prefer to use their insurance benefits, and if that is the case, then you want to look for a therapist who is covered on your insurance panel. It comes as a whole package. There are upsides and downsides to everything. As you consider the differences between life coaching and therapy, maybe these considerations will help you to move forward in that. If you would like another powerful tool to use, I've got a little gift for you. I have put together a visual model for what positivity actually means. I'll put this right in your inbox. You'll get the model plus a quick little description of what it is and what it has to do with positivity. Does that sound good?